Hello and welcome to day 26 of my 7-week challenge to post a video every day. I hope you can hear me because I don't think I am brave enough to talk any louder. I am here at the airport and I've just spent the last 2 minutes trying to record but being too nervous with all the people constantly walking by. So hopefully this is loud enough because this is as loud as it's gonna get. And I'm not sure if you can hear me while they are doing announcements.
David and Lorraine Maxim.
So I'm wondering if I should pause.
Samuel Dollar.
But it's probably not that much worse than when it's windy. So maybe I should just keep talking. Anyway, I just wanted to in continuing with my theme that I did a few at the beginning of the week with how to save money, spend less, and do things on a budget, I thought I could actually continue with that and share a couple tips on traveling on a budget. So I'm actually headed out west right now, not just to Vancouver, and I'm going for a course. It's called Landmark Forum, so it's a personal development type course, and I don't know that much about it because I've never done it. I just know that Justin, I don't know if I've ever mentioned, if I ever say Justin and you don't know me personally, Justin is my husband. He took the course in the spring and he loved it. We also both did Tony Robbins 2 years ago, and although he enjoyed it, he didn't find that it really made a big difference for him or that he had much of a takeaway. But with this one, he felt that it was so much more beneficial and that it really made a difference and helped him. So when he got back, even when he picked me up at the airport, he was like so pumped up and excited about it and saying, you know, you really should do this, that he really wanted me to do it. And I was thinking like, well, yeah, I would love to do it, but knowing that it wasn't going to be an option for a while. And so it was kind of just left at that. And I wanted to say too, I noticed a difference in him just from even picking him up at the airport, because he does travel a lot with work, and normally when he gets back from the airport, he's just he's tired, and his ears don't pop properly, so sometimes it takes him a few days for his ears to get back to normal. So normally he doesn't even want to talk, he just wants silence in the car. But this was the first time that he was really chatty, and it was very different picking him up. So I noticed a change in him right away. And then he did end up saying to me a few days later, after he'd gotten back, that he'd actually already signed me up for this weekend, and that he found so much benefit and it inspired so much change in him that he wanted me to go that bad that he was willing to sign me up and pay for me to go in September. So September comes along, because again, we're on one income, so we got to budget things and spend and decide when we're spending certain things. So he had put off buying the plane tickets until this past week, and when he went in the spring, his flights altogether came to under 300. I think it was 273 or something. So in his head, he had budgeted to spend around 300 for my flights. Well, he checked flights on Saturday and they were all about 700. And then he figured, okay, well, hopefully they'll go down. So he waited a couple more days, and on Monday, when he checked, the flights were all over 800. Now, that was obviously a problem when he had budgeted for $300 for flights, and $800 just to fly within Canada is pretty ridiculous. I mean, we could fly a lot farther for that price. So we're kind of panicking because we'd already had everything arranged, where I'm going to stay, I'm signed up for it. And so it was a bit of a panic. But then I realized that I have air miles that I used to use my air miles to redeem for gift cards, but they stopped giving that option. So I've been saving for the last few years to get a DSLR camera, and I still didn't have enough, but I realized it would still take me a while to get to it. So I thought, I'm going to check. I'd never booked anything with air miles, and I didn't really know what to do, but I thought I would try it out and see if I even had enough or what my options were. I did have enough. Unfortunately, I guess because the price was so high, the air miles are higher than they would normally be. So it was over 4,000 air miles, but I was still pretty excited about that because there were other flight options. There were several different flight options to go do the trip those days, and the other options were over 6,000 and over 7,000 air miles. So for around 4,000 air miles, I was pretty happy with that. I had enough for that. So with my air miles, it turned out I'm checking just to make sure they're still boarding my flight and that they're not waiting for me. If you see me looking that way, that is why. So with those air miles, all we had left was the taxes and fees. So that it was, I think, around 120, 129 or 126, under 130. So that made a huge difference between, because I actually, after I booked it, I checked, and if I had booked those specific flights, it would have, I think, been 832 altogether, which is pretty ridiculous. So I was quite excited about what we did, or what that I even thought to get the air miles. Now, another thing that I did that I'm quite proud of is I managed to fit everything on.
Announcement, Commerce Flight 136 with service to Galen, all foreign confirmed passengers must now make their way to gate 21 for boarding. At this time, Commerce reaching the following passengers.
I'm not talking because I'm not sure if you can hear me, so I'm just going to wait.
And Bernice McKenzie, please make your way down to gate 21 as your aircraft is fully boarded and ready for departure. Thank you.
Okay. What was I saying? Oh yeah. Even though the flight ended up with WestJet, they don't include a free checked bag anymore. So it's $25 each way. So to go both ways, that would be $50. So I thought, well, if I can squeeze it all in to carry on, then that would save me $50. And I did, and I'm super pumped. I have that bag, which is carry on. And then I also have a shoulder bag, a small shoulder bag that is really great. It actually folds when it's one of the bags that can invert and fold up into just a tiny little square when it's empty, which is often I bring as a carry-on, that bag. So I was able to do both of those, and I'm saving $50. The tough thing about that is toiletries, between shampoos, conditioners, hand lotion. That's the hardest part, is bringing those things. Now, especially if I'm going somewhere where it's hot, I can't bring a small sunscreen. I need a big bottle of sunscreen. So that's where I usually have problems when it comes to doing carry-on. But if I could do it and I managed to somehow squeeze it all in, that's way better, way cheaper. Plus it was faster because I just had to print my boarding pass, and then I didn't have to stay in line to check my bag. I could just go straight to security. So I got through very quickly, because if you know me, you know that I'm always very last minute, and especially when it comes to packing.
If I could have your attention, please, WestJet Flight 573 with service to Edmonton is engaging Mr. Troy Manning, Ms. Renata Clausen, and Timilawa Ajaya. Please make your way immediately to gate 8. Your aircraft is fully boarded.
I should probably wrap this up soon. I was just going to say, even I was relatively organized and packed, but somehow I still end up not finishing packing until literally I need to get dressed and leave. So I don't know, it's just this thing. If I ever can be like packed and have my stuff at the door and have an hour to spare, it'll be amazing. The good news is it wasn't this bad this time. I actually was able to have a normal sleep. Normally I like pull an all-nighter, but it also helped that I had a later flight. It's 5 o'clock now, so that helped me a lot. But I was still running very behind. My flight scheduled for 5, and I got to the airport at 4:15. So
Flight 136 with service to Galen, all foreign confirmed passengers must now make their way to gate 21 for boarding. At this time, Commerce reaching the following passengers: Eddie Head and Bernice McKenzie. Once again, Eddie Head and Bernice McKenzie. If you are in the departures lounge, please make your way down to gate 21 as your aircraft is fully boarded and ready to depart.
So it was really helpful that I was able to skip the checked baggage part and get right through to security. So that's all I really wanted to say for today. Oh, one more thing actually. Because I'm going to be in the course, and in the next 3 days, it's from 9 a.m. till around 10 p.m. I'm not positive I will even get a chance to do videos, and I want to be very present, because it's one of those things where you get out of it what you put into it, and I don't want to be distracted worrying about the videos if it's going to mess up what I'm trying to accomplish there. So if I am not able to film videos for the next 3 days, then I will make up for them on Monday, and I will record 4, because I'm still there till Tuesday, but we do have a break Monday. So I will do catch up, but if not, I'll try to just do some quick ones for the next 3 days. So the boarding line is getting a little bit short for my flight, so I think I'm gonna head over there. But that is just it. That's my tips for today. If you can, use air miles and do carry-on baggage, because it saves a lot of money. In my case, it saved $750. So that's the kind of budgeting that I totally approve of. Thank you for listening. Have a great night. Bye.